Good morning to all of you. Today, 11th day of value-added course, Human Right, a General Perspective. Today we have a speaker, Dr. Anil Kumar Singh. Today we are going to cover transgender issues and the issues related tribals and scheduled tribes people. If you talk about the human right is a universal perspective, so why you just skip the LGBTs or tribal or SC/STs group? So we cover all the topics regarding this human rights. We are going to welcome Anil Kumar Singh sir for today's lecture, and I'm very sure that this lecture is beneficial for us and you people also. So dear participants, stay connected and just enjoy the lecture. Welcome Anil sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Snelata. Good morning, all of you. Today I am lecture about to tribal refugees and transgender rights. So that children we have to known about to tribal rights and refugees rights and transgender rights. How to the very prospective areas for the national issues for the constitutional law and preservative in order so that now again to I am representing to myself to Anil Kumar Singh, Political Science Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, Integral University. Good. So firstly we have discussed about the introduction of the tribals. Tribals meaning to be in 1950. So that began to a great opportunity in this year of the long procedure in Indian Constitution. These are balance of caste system in society. They represented to the captaincy for the privilege revolutionary system and the schedule for the tribal system. So that these are the terms and condition whatever for the untouchable equality for in Indian constitution. So that student, it is the schedule for the tribal where is a triad for the which other of the people of the refused in the such work of the balancing in the autonomous society, so that so that there is no clear cut to the neither reason of the non answer for the which is there are the certain peoples who have not to for the tried for the slaveries, so that I the so that why they were called to schedule tribal are the constituted for more towards there are the scheduled tribes. These are the rights and also certain special program. What is the meaning of tribal people? Suppose that you have to put on your question, what is the meaning of tribal people? So that tribal people, the viewed of the non-developing are the historical as per the social group existing before the development of the nation state or the outside them. We can say that including for the outside them. The tribal is as a group of the distance people. Whose people are the distance people who cannot be accepted in border areas. They are the group of the distance people. That is the that is the dependent on their land, is there the livelihood, whatever, to the largest self-sufficient, or the not to integrated into the national society. These are the meaning of the tribal people. We can say that tribal people are the most reliable for the geographical factor in also in here. So that tribal are called to schedule. Why it's called to schedule to the tribal? These are the very important to the schedule, they because they included is a one of the schedule of the Constitution of India. These are the mention of the Constitution of India. Our Constitution has been a schedule in 12, so that the schedule of tribal people are the one who are the who are the pursuing for the untouchable, according to Hindu mythology, according to Indian mythology. So that these are the 15 category in the Varna system. These are the 15 category of the Varna system. That is the meaning of the Varna system. It is the Vedic period schedule on this year. The schedule of the tribal people are the generally called as Adivasi. Adivasi, do you know? Adivasi may be a call to live in jungle, live in a tribal area, live in a non-developing area. These are called to the Adivasi. We cannot to adopt in cloth and wear in our society in for this within me and within your. These are the functionalized system. There is a not to be similar with me. There is a uh, there is a functioning for society to the cloth and wear and society for the there are the policies and there are the some called of the other 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 perspective. So that we have discussed about to we have to known about to Adivasi. Adivasi is the meaning of the Adivasi is the tribal group population. Tribal people population is the maintain the South Asia. South Asia Adivasi make 8.6. This is a very important diagram for the 8.6 people in Indian population. More than 104 million people in carry on the Adivasi people in Indian society. So that according to 2011, these are the very measurement of the population in Indian society for Indian geographical part to may be included of Adivasi. So that 8.6 in are 104 million people according to 2018 uh, scenario. Consequences: the large percentage of the Adivasi in the to the not to be centralized area, to the begin are the coastal to the begin are the further border areas, to the forest areas, maybe a very consequences are in here. So that we can say that the population of India and the Nepal to the together is the large number of Adivasi. The large number of Adivasi in biggest number of in Nepal. Nepal, we can say that Nepal population is a very large number of Adivasi, and secondly, we had adopted to Indian geographical factor, so that Nepal. The some terms of Adivasi used for the ethnic minorities for the Bangladesh of the native the Tharu people of Nepal. The name of the Tharu people mainly are deserved for the Nepal coastal in Nepal in mountain areas to the live in the Adivasi society. The word is also used in the same sense in Nepal as a Janatiti. Janatiti as a caste for Nepal to there is included for here, so that the political context to the historical under of the Shah and Rana, Shah and Rana to the also name is Adivasi people. Rana name and the Shah name are also called in Nepal to the Nepal in tribal areas. So that society is the are the particularly promotion for the Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, West Bengal, and Northeast state, including the Indian society, including the Indian state, is the someone have to very large number of the Adivasi, large number of the Adivasi in Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Odisha. Don't also know that the West Bengal, some of the people to the during to the survive in eastern frontier area are the northeast, so that these are the some people are the Andaman and Nicobar people to also in live here. So that these are the concept are the name of the Adivasi. We cannot be person who have who have not be civilized to the moderation, civilized to the people scenarios, civilized to not to be signified for the social event, cultural event, political event, economical event. These are the general perspective or the to the causes of the modernization. They cannot be adopted. They cannot be used to modernize system. So that we have also called to Adivasi. So that largest tribal in India, largest tribal in India, who consideration of the according to 2011 consequences are the India. Bhil 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 are the most population in tribal in the total population of the 4 lakhs 61,000 to the 68 consideration of the tribals people are the Indian society in 37.7. It's a large number of the population of the Bhil society. We have included about to the ST population. Do you know ST population? This is the population of the god. These are the name of the god population are also to be ST population. These are the population is the largest number of the Indian scenario in the Indian society population. That is the 35.6 percentage in Madhya Pradesh, large number in Madhya Pradesh for the 35.6 percentage. So that very large number. That is the population 1.6 crore ST population who named as the 21 of the state population. 21% of the state population. Total numbering of the state population in the included by the 21 percentage to the Mizoram and Lakshadweep. Very large number of the Adivasi are the ST group in the Mizoram and Lakshadweep to the highest number of the percentage of the ST population. But as the number of the thing to the Chhattisgarh will top the list. Chhattisgarh will top the list. Whatever that is the Indian scenario, Indian society, Indian population. These are the very effective role of the ST in the political scenario. Those the Indian laws constitution the provisions which is the very very important part of the population of the Indian, Indian to the coastal, Indian to the similar, and Indian to the law constitution provisions. So that Indian provision to the according to the Article 342 of the Constitution of India. These are the measurement of the Constitution for the 342. The the president after the consulting with the state government concerned has the promoted 9 orders so far. The propaganda has the clearly specialized for the scheduled tribals area relation to the concerned state and the union tribals. That is the meaning of the union tribal, to say that the state and the union territories is also known that the biggest number of the biggest population of the in this here in Indian society. That is the called, this is a largest tribal population to the world according to the 2001 census of the 8.2 in Indian population. We can say that Indian overall, the overall number of the 8.2 number of the tribal people in existing in Indian society. These are the very important message for the ST group of the Indian Constitution, so that we can get the any more of the set to the safeguard for the safeguard for the schedule for tribals. So can be divided into the two parts. What is the two part? Protective and development. What is the meaning of protective and development? Protective, which is the we can say that protective, we can say that Indian law constitution to provided the some article are the protective to the part of the mention for the, these are the Indian society, Indian system, Indian cultural system, Indian may be provided for the other religious system. These are the protective system. And development, some some policies are the developed for the government to resolve to development for the tribal areas, for the scheduled tribal to the scheduled caste to, and the tribals areas to the development for the more and more than policies in here to the constitutional order. So that these are the protective and the development. Basic safeguard provided in Indian Constitution. Firstly, education and cultural safeguard. What is the meaning of education and cultural safeguard? These are the part of the Article 15.4, the special provisions for the advertisement of other background classes, including to STs, so that these are the special categories. There is a special categories for the background classes. Next on the Article 29, protection of the to the interest for the minorities, which is the part of the very seriously in Indian constitutional interested for the minorities is the Article 29. So that Article 46 to the mention for the state shall they promote with the special case the educational and economical interest of the weaker section of the population, and in the particular of the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribals. These are the perspective for the protect them the social injustice for the forms of the exploration. Perspective areas is the exploration for the given is the more time, more given, more information, more injustice for the Indian Constitution to the Article 46. So the state shall be promoted according to national issues, according to the centralized system policies. Mention to education, mental to mention to cultural. These are the very safeguard for the basic safeguard provided in Indian Constitution. That is the next on Article 350. Article 350 right to conserve distant language, script or culture. Very important for the Indian Constitution to the right to the conserve this to the distinct language, spirit of the culture. That is the mention of the Article 350. Very important. And included the Article 350 according to the safeguard of the Indian Constitution to the instruction of the mother tongue. Mother tongue also included in here, so that Article 350. Social safeguard. Social safeguard is the mention for the Article 23, the provisions of the traffic in human being and the bigger and other similar from the forced labor. That is a very important part of the social safeguard. We have accepted to the we have also accepted to in here in Indian society for the Article 22, Article 23. Next, included to social safeguard in Article 24, forbidding the child labor. I am also representing in child to the child labor in class in our previous class, also known that the labor society in here. That is the why to the Article 24 to Article 24 in established in Indian Constitution regarding to United Nation, regarding to the European Union, and the safeguard for Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar in 1952 article to join to the ST and scenario for given for social safeguard in the such as the very promoted in ST society. So that we can say that economic safeguard, to the Article 24, Article 244, the causes of promotion of the 15th schedule are the mention of the control for scheduled areas. These are the very understanding for is here. So that economic safeguard is also to the state. The measurement are the Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Tripura. These are there are the under the sixth schedule to the cases of the second article. Article 275. The grant is the aid of the specified state. SC and STs are the convert under 15th to 16th schedule of the Constitution. Very important role are the Article 275. 275 is the very important role are the very important significant are the schedule of the Constitution. These are the next on the political sorry, next on political safeguard, also known that we have provided the political safeguard including the Article 164, 330, 337, 334, and 243, and 371. You know, also known that we have anyone to in Indian in agricultural land will purchased in here, so that we can say that one name are the 143, 123. These are the mention of the protectable article or the Indian Constitution. 1, 2, 3 land is the mention for the ST land. 1, 2, 3 land indicated on the ST land, so that we cannot be purchased to any further order for the Indian for the any condition. But one condition we have the adopted in here, so that whose person are the purchase the land, we have to application to the tehsil, and we got to be I we have to personal interest are the marriage problem, economic problem, and other problem. We get to the facilities for the money in is here, so that who person can be purchased the land. But but not to be application provided in here, we cannot purchase to the any land for the ST for the name of consideration in the to the UP government or the central government provisions, so that it is the dignity for the UP and state government are the services services safeguard, very important role. Some people are the very various platform on his here, so that services safeguard. Do you know services safeguard ki we have not to be entire for the any government job for the state and central government. These are the constitutional provision. There are the constitutional provision under the article 16 4, 16 4A, 16 4B, article 335 and article 320 40 also in here, the provision of the regards for the right of the scheduled tribal in Indian constitution, so that these are the provision for the services safeguard in here. Article 15.4, promotion of social, economic, and educational interest. Very important, very important to significant are the Article 15, are the promotion of the social, economic, and educational interest. These are the similar criteria. There are the similar protection criteria in Indian scenario, Indian political system, Indian social system, and Indian constitution system. Also known that the Article 50, Article 19.5, the safeguard of the tribal interest, Article 23, human trafficking, Article 29 in cultural and educational rights. There is a major role are the services safeguard in here, so that student we can say that the some people are who can given about to the services and safeguard in Indian society for some under section for Indian constitution. Otherwise the continuously for the process for the article 164 the included for the provision for the regulatory act in right to of the scheduled tribal in Indian constitution for required to some other facilities. These are the role of the making to the promotion of the safeguard of the Indian scenario. We can say that Article 15, 19.5 and Article 23, human trafficking. These are the major role are the Indian Constitution, that is the belong to the adaptation of the SC/ST rules for the Indian Constitution. That is why to the adaptation is the there is scenario for the article to the parties. So that Article 64 in which of the requirement for the promote and protect for ensure the full enjoyment of human rights by the person which the disabilities and ensure that they are enjoying equality for the under the law. These are the major part of the Article 64. Next, I would like to say that next on topic for my in here, so that introduction for the understanding of the meaning of transgender. These are the part of the unit 4 to the last topic understand for the transgender. These are the very mainly role, so that the manipulation of the term of the transgender to the historical part in which the transgender area how to meaning the transgender person are the people who identify to the different for the statistically gender norms, which is the identify the gender only as male or female. Society has the failed to the not accepted their the gender identified due to the which they have suffered from the discrimination in society. Our society in where for the physically violence in our society, there are the certain socio-cultural group of the transgender people who are the identified the name of common name of hijras, common name of the Jogopus, a common name of the Sakhi, and these are the name of the other states and other relevance. The name is also the name of the transient people. That is the what are you saying for you? That is the name of that is the name of the localized name Hijraz, Jogofas, and Sakhi, and also known as the Aridis. These are name of the uh, part of the transgender. So that I would like to say that some article deal of with the transgender right in Indian scenario for given a right to the recognized as a third gender. Do you know that is the name of the third gender for in his year for the officially language, officially protection, officially to the social and political event for the services in state and centralized to the firstly the identified male, female or transgender included here to the any other form to the services areas and bank passbook bank areas and other facilities in here, so that the not to be manipulated in here to the hijras for the belong to the group of but is the reflective of the transgender person individually, so that these are the more these are the there are the some rights in here, so that why should be rights in here, the rights they are the equality under the Indian Constitution, equality under the transgender person, the Constitution for the guarantee for justice and equality to the each of every Indian citizen, so that these are the preservative system are the adaptation for the transgender rights, so that the government and ethical part to the rights of the protection of rights of the transgender act 2019 provided provident for against to the discrimination in the matter of the employment, education, health and services to the transgender for the person of the welfare measures have been adopted to the protect the rights of the duties, the right of the structure, the rights of the fundamental scenario. These are the protectable and the protocol for the Indian scenario. That is why these are the functioning system. Transient person, we can say that transient person are the considered as the people who the the gender identified to different our gender who had the by birth through the by birth. We can say that transgender person, also known that we have the gender are by birth to the male or female, but we cannot be safe not to be male, not to be female, or someone have to male identification, someone have to female identification, or someone have to both identification. These are the concept are the transient person. So that although the transient person to the many causes for the in this there is society, the transients right under Indian Constitution section 377 of IPC and uncultural offense. What is the begin IPC to the section 377? What is the 377 are the mainly defend are the main procedure for the main section areas, main section covered for the transient right. Section are the education right, section for the equality, section for the right to citizens. So that these are section are the 377. So we have to promoted our this here. Someone you have the legal procedure for the transgender for the constitution under there are the 12 there are the promotion, there are the growth, there are the significant some provisions for in here, so that the transition right in Indian constitution to the justice citizen social economic and political equality status. I am also to this here, so that Indian Constitution under the Article 14 and 15, 16 and 21 is the generally adaptation for the article in here, so that the right of the transient were for the first time conferred under the 2014 Nelson to the judgment to the Nelsa judgment, where the Supreme Court idea the faces for the protecting and the safeguarding the rights of the transgender person under the principle of the Indian Constitution lead down in Article 14, 15, 16, and 21. You know, Article 14, 15, 16, and 21. This I am also defined to Article. There is Article 2, my previous class. You watch then later. So that Article 14, 15, and 16 provided to right to equality, right to identifiable, right 21 is the right to the freedom, citizen. There is the undertaking for basis for the freedom to equality. Some will have to provision against. That is why should be at section someone you have to know about to section 377 of IPC and cultural offences, so that whatever is the meaning of the to the whatever to the violence has the criminal enter the course against the order of the nature. These are the very important section for the physical harassment. Someone you have to Article 377 to the physical harassment and the unnatural sex for unnatural against for the to the IPC under section for the 377. Who has the man, woman, and animal shall be punished with the is here. It is the very important role. It is the very important role for section is 377 and very safeguard for the political safeguard for the Indian Constitution to the IPC and unnatural offences, so that the someone have explained to the protection of the sufficient for to the constitute for the criminal instead necessary to the other offenses described to this section. So that I would like to say that some uh, provision against the discrimination, some provisions for the transgender people have to suffered to the some discrimination, okay, to the matter of the housing, health, education, employment. Discrimination is the other areas for the somewhere for the results to where the provided the transgender people to the provision against the discrimination. I'm also regarded to the Article 377. Some some issues for the transgender. We have shown that we have the high to the highest some key issues below. Some health is the transient people face emotions health of the disputed, including the stages rates of the HIV. Some people have to suffer to the very sophisticated for the HIV infection to the lack of primary cases. In here to the where is transient people. Economics. Economically, transgender are people that bear to economic consequences for the to the discrimination, including the highest rate providing for the unemployment to the emerging for the trans people more than twice are likely to live in extreme provide to the earning under the 10,000 per year. Very seriously part of the economic growth in here, so that very bad effect in our society, so that I we have neglected to here, we have non safeguard in society. That is the very poor situation in here, so that safely. Next on safety, the safety of the transgender people under the black transgender women, especially it experience for the fitness level and physical violence. These this is particularly true among to the transgender people, particular to the participation in the sex work and the other informal for the criminalized economics. But there are the murderized system in the transgender women we have occurs for the such as almost regulatory, so that we have not to adopted in here, so that someone have the American medical association declare to the violence against transgender people and to the amendment for 2019. This is the very safety promotion for this here for the highest sum of the key of issues in here. Next on civil rights, very important role are civil rights. Recognized person we have not to trials for people to the to the safety to the important, because there is a large need span to the many aspects for this here. That is the why, that is the why have to not to civil rights in here adaptation by the Indian scenario and other scenario for given in United Nations and European Union. There is a functional of the constitutional order of the continental and the bigger globalization system. This is the mention for this here, so that the we have adopted, we have the requested to the system of government to the for protection for the civil rights to the employment rights and the other facilities rights to the transgender people, so that we can say that these are the mainly important are the best someone have the basic rights of the transgender, which are the being violated for the which need of the restorated, so that some affected on is here, some phases to the phase on the transient people should be alive for the education, employment, healthcare, violence, and human rights for the transient. These are the mainly acceptable for the Indian scenario, Indian localized system, Indian state system, and the national issues for the national issues for somewhere and otherwise. So that we can say that these are the rights undertaking for the nations, to the workplace, to the disorder workplace, to the dimension of the order, safety of the employment, dissolve to the employment, dissolve to the privacy right, dissolve to the violence right. These are the mention to the basic rights for the transient, which is the including by the same people, by the same further people, human being are the Indian constitution, how to write to basic information, how to write to basic further development, including by me, including by you. That is why that is the main functioning system, main categorized system, main need for the transient right for this here to the education, employment, healthcare, and violence against to any other. So that we have to the transient. Some we have to the transient right of the bill are together in 2014. This bill is very important role in Indian constitution. What is the Indian constitution bill for the rights of the transgender bill? Through the some cases to the some order for the included by the this bill is the presented by the Raj Sabha and dissolved to the Lok Sabha, which is the parliamentary system, which is the parliamentary bill rights. So that we can say that the bill was introduced in Raj Sabha in 12 December 2014, which is the passed on 24 April 2050. These are the very important amendment act for transient right. The cross party of the support this where is the private number bill of the introduced by the MP for Tamil Nadu. This case was the Tamil Nadu is the very suffocated for his here. So that the 24th April the celebrated for Transient Day. This is the very important day for this year. 24th April is the celebrated as the Transient Day. The following passages on the bill in the Raj Sabha. That is why to should be adaptation or the bill. There is the bill is the most or mostly sensitive right for the transitive person, right to equality, right to the non-discrimination, and right to a life and personal liability, to the personal speech, personal communication. That is the interest to along by the protection for from the localized system, state system, and the central power system. These are the very conversational is part of the rigid process to the much than the laws for the Indian constitution. This is the against for violence, against for exploration. These are part of the casual for the transient children. Some have to improvement is education system, improve to employment system, improve to social society system, and the health also. So that the chapterize on the education to the make sure of government to provide it the inclusive education for transgender student, for the provided to the adult education also to them. So that these are the functionalized area are the suffocation suggestion for the this year. That is the way mainly particular his name of the to the conclusion and suggestion for the our citizen, our government, our society, our political representative member, and our also to other for those who have to listen this topic. So that the conclusion for the this scenario and the conclusion for the Supreme Court and High Court suggested for the certain discrimination for the central and state government, also known that these are the political can police can be interpreted the control to the this situation. Someone have the Hijra incest should be tried as the third gender for the purpose of safeguarding their fundamental rights. Very important. And this someone have to recognize the person need to identify his own gender. And otherwise, we can say that I'm also to regarded for the providing the reservation, public opinion set, employment, society, and educational system. So that these are the very mostly part of this here our Indian Constitution to the content for the making specialized providing for here to the narrow to the health issues in HIVs to the sensation for the several for the person to provided the information for the what is the meaning, what is the reason for the HIV. So that these are the these are the very measurement to taken for the provide health and care transcend for the people to the we can do the such as the any other cases for transient people, we can say that immediate to hospitalized, immediate to medical, immediate to any other facilities to the provide in public sector and private sector, so that we have the form of society welfare scheme to all round development. Also know that my last content are the suggestion for the public awareness, so that are the transgender feel that they are the part of their society and not to be treated for the untouchable. These are the very mostly humble request for the to the political leader, political policies leader, government to the very seriously to the safeguard for the transient people, for the safeguard for the society, safeguard for the political opinion. That is why we have adopted to Indian citizen. This person have to also in Indian citizen. So some is the welfare for the need of the humanities, need of the equalities, need of the sustainable development our society. Okay, thank you so much, student. Then our second lecture are the Dr. Kalpana ma'am. Some due to some points due to some time taken for this year. Good afternoon, all of you, and good morning, ma'am. and I am Anil Kumar Singh. Welcome to 10th, 12th, sorry, 11th day of value-added courses, human rights and general perspective. I am feeling to provided to opportunity to welcome to uh, eminent speaker for today. Today we have to respected Dr. Kalpana Verma ma'am, presently working as an associate professor at Rama PG College. She is going to cover to the topic issues of human rights in India. So that I am also regarded to Dr. Kalpana ma'am. He have to resolve to 50 to 60 dissertation also in this year to the 10th year is following, so that the main achievement for the research and development to the also, so that more than 18 research paper in 10-year research working experience without further any late. Please join to us. I welcome to ma'am. Your value added course. It is up to your very important part of us. Thank you so much. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Anil. I am audible to you. Anil, I just want to know I am audible to you. Very good morning to all of you. हाँ बेटा. Good morning, Anil. Am I audible to you? Okay.
Good morning, ma'am. Sorry for inconvenience. Right now you are audible. Then you can continue your PPT. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Should I begin? Very good morning. May I start, ma'am? Very good morning to all of you.
Carry on, ma'am. Carry on. Okay, ma'am. Your
Okay.
voice is audible, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much. Very good morning to all of you. Especially, I am very thankful to Professor Jeba Akil, Head Humanities and Social Sciences, for providing me such a beautiful opportunity. And a very special thank you for honorable faculty members in Integral University Education Department and my dear learners, the backbone of the country. I, Dr. Kalpana Verma, Associate Professor, Education Department, really feel immense pleasure to with you. So thank you very much, dear students. Now I am going to give my lecture on the very special and crucial and also very burning topic, that is the human right education, yeah, human rights, a general perspective. Dear student, I would begin my lecture in three parts. The part one, you will see the basic concept of human right. What is human right? What is its meaning? And what is the sources why we need human rights? And in the second part, dear students, we will discuss Universal Declaration of Human Rights. That is very special. And in third part, in my slide, I will discuss how Universal Declaration of Human Rights is quite similar to our Indian constitution. So let's begin. As you all know, what is the human right? Before I present, I was hearing the lecture of Mr. Anil Kumar Singh. He was properly discussed human rights and its issues. But now I am going to say the literal meaning human rights are the basic rights. Dear students, human rights are the basic rights and freedom that belong to every person in the world. Every person in the world from birth until death. यानी हमको जन्म से लेकर के मृत्यु तक सबको ह्यूमन राइट ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड मिले हुए होते हैं एंड दीज आर आवर बेसिक राइट्स एंड फ्रीडम. द बेसिक ह्यूमन राइट्स आर द राइट टू लाइफ, राइट टू डिग्निटी, फेयरनेस, इक्वलिटी, रिस्पेक्ट एंड इंडिपेंडेंस. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. ह्यूमन राइट्स. हाँ, नाउ आई हैव टू डिस्कस. हेरोल्ड लास्की ने कहा है, राइट्स आर सच कंडीशन एंड सर्कमस्टेंसेस ऑफ ह्यूमन लाइफ. Our human rights are such conditions and circumstances of human life in the absence of which no individual can fully develop in his personality. So, dear students, we can understand the human rights are basically important for our personality development, and no person is complete without his or her groomed personality. Now we can say that according to Oxford Dictionary, a right is a moral or legal claim. A right is a moral or legal claim to have or get something or to behave in a particular way. Dear students, these are the two definitions of human rights. Now we should understand what is the objective of human right, why we need human right, and what is the objectives of human right. Dear students, right to protect human being. First of all, human rights first objective is right to protect human being. मानवता को सुरक्षित रखने के लिए भी ह्यूमन राइट्स की जरूरत पड़ती है. नाउ द नेक्स्ट इज राइट टू डेवलप इंडिविजुअल सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट. हमें ह्यूमन राइट इसलिए चाहिए कि वी डिजर्व एक सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट एंड इंडिविजुअल सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट. आई आल्सो डिजर्व, यू आल्सो डिजर्व सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट. Next, a right to value human dignity. The third objective of human right education is to value human dignity. Next, a right to promote respect, understanding, and appreciation of diversity. Human right education, yeah, you can say human rights promote our respect, understanding towards people, understanding towards country, and also appreciate the diversity of our country. Our country, our India is very diverse in nature. Different cultural progress is found in India. So human rights objective is also for the appreciation of diversity. Right to promote democracy is also next objective, social justice and friendship among people and nation. Dear students, you all know we cannot grow without the friendship and interrelation. So human rights objective is also friendship among people and nation. Now we have discussed the nature of human right. We all know what is the human right, and we should know what should be the nature of human rights. Human rights are progressive in nature. It's a very matter of discussion कि human rights are very progressive in nature. From the very beginning हमको human rights की जरूरत नहीं थी, because society is changing, objectives of society is changing. धीरे धीरे सोसाइटी चेंज हुई, उनकी नीड चेंज हुई, हमें ह्यूमन राइट्स की जरूरत पड़ी और बहुत सारे ह्यूमन राइट्स ऐड किए गए डिफरेंट टाइम में. इट इज आल्सो वेरी यूनिवर्सल. यू विल सी द ह्यूमन राइट्स इज यूनिवर्सल. जहाँ जहाँ व्यक्ति है, जहाँ जहाँ मनुष्य है, वहाँ वहाँ यूनिवर्सल ह्यूमन राइट्स आपको देखने को मिलेंगे. ठीक है. पॉजिटिव एंड नेगेटिव. व्हाट इज द पॉजिटिव एंड नेगेटिव? In next slide, I will discuss what is the first generation right and what is the second generation right. The first generation right is known as negative. First generation is known as negative. The matter of question how it is negative. First generation rights are very essential for us, and no government, no country law provided our first generation right, तो sometime it is also called as negative rights, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट इसमें इंटरफेयर नहीं कर सकती. We positively deserve our rights, and positive rights are those rights that is the second generation right. I will discuss in my next slide. वैल्यू बेस्ड, आप जानते हैं कि एक नेचर ये भी है कि वैल्यू बेस्ड हो. ह्यूमन राइट अगर ह्यूमन से जुड़ा है तो उस मूल्य आधारित भी होगा. डिलिमिटेशंस, value based, delimited by state. The second generation right and third generation right. Third generation rights are known as collective rights that can be delimited by the state sometimes. अगर स्टेट को लगता है कि ये राइट्स कभी कभी जरूरत नहीं है इनकी या ये आउटडेटेड हो चुके हैं, ऐसे समय स्टेट उसमें इंटरफेयर करती है और ऐसे राइट्स को जो कि थर्ड जनरेशन राइट, कलेक्टिव राइट के रूप में जाने जाते हैं, इनको स्टेट डिलिमिट करती है. आप सब जानते होंगे धीरे धीरे डिफरेंट रिलीजन्स में, कल्चरल माइनॉरिटीज में कुछ चेंजेस आ रहे हैं. दिस इज नोन एज द डिलिमिटेड राइट्स बाय द स्टेट. राइट टू लिव आल्सो इट इज नेचर है. राइट टू लिव, इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी. ह्यूमन राइट का नेचर ये है कि सबको इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली हुई है. फ्रीडम टू ऑल एंड जस्टिफाइबल. नेक्स्ट, now we discuss the need of human right education. Next slide please. Need of human right education. Why we need human right education? Because it enables people to claim their rights. Human rights, our rights, that we can claim our rights before the law, before the government. Next, it teaches young people to respect diversity. You are the young people. My dear students are the young people. And human rights education teaches us to respect diversity, to respect different people, to respect different individual, to respect different cultural minorities section also. We should live in harmony. So that we need human rights education. It teaches history. ह्यूमन राइट्स एजुकेशन आल्सो टेल अस अबाउट हिस्ट्री. कैसे कैसे हमने सरवाइव किया है, किस तरह से एक देश में हमको अपना वजूद मिला है. इफ वी आर अवेयर ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट एजुकेशन, डेफिनेटली यू विल बी एबल टू नो योर हिस्ट्री, द हिस्ट्री ऑफ प्रोग्रेस, हिस्ट्री ऑफ आवर स्ट्रगल. नाउ the next need is it teaches people to recognize the root cause of human right issue. Human right teaches people to recognize the root cause of human right issues. अभी रिसेंटली मैंने लेक्चर सुना ह्यूमन राइट इश्यूज. देयर आर सो मैनी इश्यूज लाइक विमेन एजुकेशन, लाइक ट्रांसजेंडर इक्वलिटी, लाइक माइनॉरिटीज, ट्राइबल राइट्स, लेबर इश्यूज, बहुत सारे चीज इश्यूज हैं. if you are able to know human right education, definitely then you will be recognized to the root cause of human right issues. Now, human right education fosters critical thinking and analytical thinking. You are able to think critically, to think the pros and cons of any situation. Need of human right education, it's continued. It encourages empathy and solidarity. Empathy, you all know the meaning of empathy. We are very sensitive to each other. Solidarity means cohesiveness among the group. So human right education enables people, enables us for empathy and solidarity. It encourages people to value human right. क्या करता है? सबसे बड़ी चीज है ह्यूमन राइट एजुकेशन enables people, enables us to respect, to value human right. What is the human right? Why it is essential? We are now able to value them. It fuels social justice activities. There are so many social activities in the society, and some are good, some are bad for us. If you are aware about human right education, definitely your knowledge will work as a fuel for social justice activities. Next is it keeps government in accountable. Sorry. If you are aware, dear students, about the human right education, then you will go for the government, you will go for the country law, you will go for the our right to be protected. So it keeps government accountable, so that government is forced to do to secure our human rights. Issues of human rights. Issues of human rights. There are various issues of human rights. Women's right. Next slide, please. Women's right, minorities right, child labor right, physically disabled rights, tribal rights, transgender rights, refugees right. Issues of human rights. Dear students, it's a matter of concern either which religion we have. We all know that the position of women has been degrading always in our society. There are so many things on paper, but still we know that women's position is quite degradable from the male persons, from the males. Just I am just giving the example. uh, if you are B.Ed students or if you are M.Ed students, you all know that there are number of female students in B.Ed course and M.Ed course. But आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग द कोर्स पता नहीं चलता है कि वो बच्चियां कहाँ चली गई. जब जॉब की बात आती है तो यू विल फाउंड द मेल पर्सन इन एवरीवेयर, आइदर इन एग्जामिनेशन और इन कंडक्शन, इन यूनिवर्सिटी पोजीशंस you will found the male person more rather than women. So still we are able to discuss as an issue for women's right. Women should get equal right because she is also a human. Minorities right. No doubt minorities are still lagging behind. Minority means जिनका बहुमत कम है, तो उनके rights, opportunities are lacking. Their rights and opportunities are restricted. So it's a considered issues of human right. If minorities are not getting all the rights which all citizens have, definitely it will be matter of issue of human right. Although our constitution has provision a lot for that, Article 29, Article 30 for the minorities, also Article 27, Article 25, that is the religious independence. But still we see minorities' rights are missing somewhere. It's a matter of discussion. It's a matter of issue for human right. We should discuss it. Next is child labor right. Although our constitution allows the child, Article 23 and Article 24 says about that कि बच्चों को काम नहीं करना चाहिए, हम चाइल्ड लेबर नहीं करा सकते उनको, मिल में, फैक्ट्री में, इंस्टीट्यूशंस में एज ए लेबर वर्क नहीं करा सकते. स्टिल इसके बाद भी यू सी एट द डिफरेंट प्लेसेस, चाय की दुकान हो या आप किसी इंस्टीट्यूशन में जाइए, आप एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस में जाइए, स्मॉल चिल्ड्रन दैट आर नॉट एडल्ट वर्किंग देयर. इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ इशू, इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ डिस्कशन. हमें राइट्स होने के बाद भी अगर वो चाइल्ड लेबर आपको देखने को मिल रहा, हम करा रहे हैं, आप करा रहे हैं, इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ इशू, इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ डिस्कशन कि चाइल्ड लेबर राइट्स पर बात की जाए. इफ एनी चाइल्ड इज अवेयर, in foreign countries, especially America and England, children complain the government. Children complain for the government if their parents are also harassing them. तो वहाँ के बच्चे इतने फॉरवर्ड हैं कि 13-14 साल में वो कंप्लेन करते हैं और वो चाइल्ड लेबर राइट्स या अपने राइट्स को समझते हैं. फिजिकली डिसेबल्ड राइट्स, although there are so many provisions in our beautiful constitution, physically disabled rights, but still they are lagging behind in some opportunities. So dear student, it's a matter of issue, it's a matter of discussion. physically disabled rights हमें एक ये जो स्लाइड है ये पूरे नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में डिस्कस करने की चीज है. कंप्लीटली इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ इशू. ट्राइबल राइट्स, ट्राइबल्स, अभी आप कुछ ट्राइब्स ऐसी हैं खास तौर से एमपी में और राजस्थान में, आप वहाँ चले जाएं इन एमपी एंड राजस्थान, देयर आर so many tribes. In UP also, they are quite lagging behind in every section, in every segment of the society. So their rights to be completed by the government. It's the responsibility of government because they are not aware about that. So students are the backbone of the country. आप सब देश की रीढ़ हैं, तो your responsibility as a citizen, your responsibility, you should discuss the tribal right as the issue of human right. Now we are going for transgender right. Transgenders को तो बहुत समय बाद रिकॉग्निशन मिला, लगभग आज से 8-10 साल पहले, जब 2014 में 2014 ट्रांसजेंडर बिल पास हुआ, दिसंबर के आसपास, तब इनको अपने राइट्स मिले. अदरवाइज ट्रांसजेंडर वेर आल्सो getting so much neglected, and they were forced to do suicide, to commit suicide, and they were very lagging behind in health sectors. Some transgender says there were no beds in the hospital, there were no article, there were no material for transgenders. डॉक्टर्स को पता नहीं है, स्टाफ और नर्सेस को पता नहीं है कि कौन सा यूरिनल लगेगा, कौन सा कैथेड्रल लगेगा. तो these are the things that shows we transgenders are missing their rights. Now it's a matter of discussion, it's a matter of issue. We should discuss the transgenders right in next session. Now the refugees are two types, you know. Refugees right is also matter of discussion. कुछ refugees अपनी country में जब उनको safety नहीं मिलती, just because of war, just because of any region, any religious reason, they came to our country or in other countries, and then it's a responsibility of our government. If they are seeking for the help, we should help them. Now the next, in first part, sources of human right. नाउ ये जानने की जरूरत है कि ह्यूमन राइट्स कहाँ से आए. इससे पहले ह्यूमन राइट्स की बात नहीं होती थी. इन एंशियंट टाइम वी वेर नॉट डिस्कसिंग ह्यूमन राइट्स. सोर्सेज ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट आर मेजर 4. यूनिवर्सल डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स, आप सब जानते होंगे. यूनिवर्सल डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स, यूएन ने अपने कंट्रीज से जब कहा कि ह्यूमन राइट्स पे कुछ जनरल प्रोग्राम्स बनने चाहिए, तब यूनाइटेड नेशन कंट्रीज ने अपने अपने रिटन डॉक्यूमेंट्स भेजे, और सबको कंपोजिट करने के बाद यूएनओ ने कुछ आर्टिकल्स डिक्लेयर किए ह्यूमन राइट्स के फॉर्म में. वो दस्तावेज, वो डॉक्यूमेंट्स वेर कंसीडर्ड यूनिवर्सल डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट. Now next, international treaties and covenants. Dear students, international treaties and covenants means when more than 10 countries are agree for the certain rights. You know, human rights are found everywhere, especially first generation rights are found everywhere. When some countries, more than 10 countries, are ready for certain laws, certain rules, and certain custom, this is, they makes it a law at universal level. This is known as international treaties and covenants. If India and other few countries make right to liberty, then it will also become a source of human right. International treaties and covenants, हर व्यक्ति कहता है कि सबको लिबर्टी का राइट है, और मैक्सिमम कंट्रीज अगर इसको एक्सेप्ट करते हैं, दिस ये एक चार्टर बन जाता है इंटरनेशनल ट्रीटीज एंड कॉन्वेनेंट्स का. नेक्स्ट है इंटरनेशनल कस्टम्स. देयर आर सो मैनी थिंग्स that is essential all over the world, are considered all over the world. Right to movement, आप कहीं जा सकते हैं, कहीं आ सकते हैं. Right to set anywhere, right to live anywhere, right for business. These are the international customs, and more than 10 or 20 countries are agree on that matter, then it becomes international customs, and international customs also become the source of human rights. So we can say now judicial decisions, you know, there are so many things are missing in our judiciary. There are so many things missing in our Indian constitution. So when we go for the help before judiciary, then when decisions comes out, जब आप कोई पिटीशन दायर करते हैं और रिजल्ट आता है, वो जुडिशियल डिसीजंस भी एक यूनिवर्सल डिक्लेरेशन के रूप में ह्यूमन राइट का सोर्स बनता है. नाउ क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट. Classification of human right is the most important aspect of human right. Being a teacher, being a student, we should know about all human rights. This is the most important classification is generation. Generation based right, that is the first generation right, the second generation right, and third generation right. First generation rights are civil and political rights. Dear students, these rights are mostly found all over the world. जो सिविल और पॉलिटिकल राइट्स हैं लगभग दुनिया के सभी देशों में एक्सेप्ट किए जा चुके हैं और सब जगह ये पाए जाते हैं. सो फर्स्ट जनरेशन राइट्स आर नोन एज सिविल एंड पॉलिटिकल राइट्स, जो कि 21 आर्टिकल्स तक सीमित हैं. द सेकेंड जनरेशन राइट्स आर इकोनॉमिक, सोशल एंड कल्चरल राइट. The second generation are not quite essential, but it is the responsibility of our country, it's a responsibility of our state कि वो हमको इकोनॉमिक, सोशल एंड कल्चरल राइट्स प्रोवाइड करे. तो फर्स्ट जनरेशन आर फाउंड ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड एंड द सेकेंड जनरेशन राइट्स आर फाउंड सम कंट्रीज इन द वर्ल्ड. द थर्ड जनरेशन राइट्स आर नोन एज कलेक्टिव राइट्स. It is also very less in number. Third generation right, collective right means कि there are certain groups, certain communities that they want to carry their own culture, they want to carry their own customs, and they make it as a right. So this is known as third generation right, that is collective rights. कभी कभी होता है कि माइनॉरिटी सेगमेंट्स हैं, दे डोंट वांट टू चेंज सम थिंग्स, उनको कैरी ऑन करना है. सम कल्चरल फैमिलीज, सम कल्चरल एथनिक ग्रुप्स, दे वांट टू कैरी दीज थिंग्स, और इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है थर्ड जनरेशन राइट. थर्ड जनरेशन राइट्स आपने देखा होगा बच्चों, बहुत सारे एग्जीबिशंस लगते हैं. सम टाइम वी गो फॉर द बारादरी, लखनऊ महोत्सव, यूपी महोत्सव एंड पर्यटन भवन इन गोमती नगर. These are the examples of collective right, third generation right. They don't want to कि their उनकी culture जो है dead हो जाए, उनकी culture explore रहे, उनकी culture जो है spread रहे all over the world. This is known as third generation right, collective right. तब हम जाते हैं, देखते हैं अच्छा भाई ये अफगानिस्तान के ड्राई फ्रूट्स हैं, अच्छा ये राजस्थान का वर्क है, तो ये उनकी कल्चर, सम माइनॉरिटी कल्चर्स आप कह सकते हैं, उनको स्प्रेड करने के लिए हम थर्ड जनरेशन राइट के थ्रू अपने ह्यूमन राइट को सेफ रखते हैं. दिस इज नोन एज कलेक्टिव राइट. नेक्स्ट, now we have to discuss first generation rights, civil and political rights. As I have earlier said, these rights are known as civil and political rights, and these are found everywhere, every countries all over the world except few. These rights contained in the Conventions of Civil and Political come under this category that see their origin in 13th century in Magna Carta. Examples हो सकते हैं right to life, civil and political right may be right to life, right to liberty, right to privacy, right to freedom from torture and inhumane treatment. These are the first kind of right जिसके सपोर्ट में आप लॉ के पास जा सकते हैं. सेकेंड जनरेशन राइट, इकोनॉमिक एंड सोशल राइट. These rights refer to the economic and social rights which are considered to have been originated in Russian Revolution in 1970 and in Paris Peace Conference of 1999. Dear student, the second generation जो है मेनली अडाप्ट किए गए रशियन इवोल्यूशन, रूसी क्रांति जो 1917 में हुई एंड पेरिस पीस कॉन्फ्रेंस 1919 में से आए हैं, लाइक फूडिंग, clothing, housing, and adequate standard of living and freedom from hunger. This is known as second generation right. If we talk about the liberty, fraternity, ये सारी चीजें second generation में आ जाती हैं. Justice, the third generation rights, this is known as collective rights. Individuals are also members of such units, groups, communities, and states. Therefore, international law not only recognizes inalienable rights of individual but also recognize certain collective right of self-determination, right to peace, and development rights. Collective rights are also very important and not spread all over the world, but it's a matter of happiness ki there are some culture, there are some groups, they don't want to forget their culture, their segment, their history. तो ये सारी चीजें अगर वो बचा के रखना चाहते हैं, when I go for any exhibition, मैं जब कहीं किसी एग्जीबिशन में जाती हूँ और इस तरह की चीजें देखने को मिलती है, तो I think we all feel immense pleasure कि they are the people, they want to carry on their culture, They want to spread their culture, although very less in number. So this is a matter of happiness कि we are maintain collective right. Next, now we have to discuss my lecture in part two. Uh, Part one was the general introductions of human rights. Part two is Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Next slide, please. Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Universal Declaration of Human Rights, we can say short in UDHR. Universal Declaration Human Rights is a declaration that was adopted by United Nations General Assembly on 10 December 1948. जनरल असेंबली में 10 दिसंबर 1948 को इट वाज अडॉप्टेड. दैट्स व्हाई डियर स्टूडेंट्स वी ऑल सेलिब्रेट ह्यूमन राइट डे ऑन 10th December every year. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights consists of a preamble and 30 articles. You have to know, you have to remember it. It consists preamble, one preamble and 30 articles. 30 articles covering both civil and political right, that is the first generation right, and the economic, social and cultural right, that is the second generation right. Now we can say Universal Declaration of Human Rights UDHR can be divided into 6 parts. Part 1, Article 1 and 2. It is divided into 6 parts. Part 1 carries Article 1 and Article 2. They reaffirm human dignity, equality and brotherhood. Human dignity, equality and brotherhood. Part 2, dear student, Article 3 to 11 covers Article 3 to 11. They are the rights of individual. Includes right to self, right to life, outline of slavery or torture, equality before law, the right to a free trials extra. Part 3 covers Article 12 to 17. Part 3 covers Article 12 to 17. They are rights of individuals within civil and political society. Article 12 to 17 includes freedom of movement. फ्रीडम ऑफ मूवमेंट, आप कहीं भी आ जा सकते हैं. राइट टू नेशनैलिटी, आप कहीं की भी नेशनैलिटी गेन कर सकते हैं, अडॉप्ट कर सकते हैं. यू इफ यू लव इंडिया यू कैन कम इन इंडिया एंड अडॉप्ट द नेशनैलिटी. अदरवाइज इफ यू वांट टू UAE you go for that. Right to marry and found a family, this is considered in part 3, right to marry and found a family. Next part 4, Article 18 to 21. Part 4 में Article 18 to 18, 19, 20 and 21. They are spirituals and religious rights of individual. Part 4 is basically based on spirituals and religious rights of individuals, such as freedom of thoughts and conscience. आपके विचारों की स्वतंत्रता है, आप किसको मानते हैं. राइट टू योर ओन ओपिनियन, आपको अपनी विचारधारा, योर ओन ओपिनियन का आपको अधिकार है. राइट टू पीसफुल असेंबली एंड एसोसिएशन. असेंबली एंड एसोसिएशन, आप पीसफुली कोई भी ग्रुप बना सकते हैं, कोई भी असेंबली बना सकते हैं फॉर रिलीजियस पर्पस, बट इट शुड बी पीसफुल. नेक्स्ट है UN declaration can be divided into 6 parts. This is continued. Part 6 है. Part 5 we have to discuss. Part 5 Article 22 to 27, यानी 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 and 27 articles are considered in Part 5. They are the social, economic and cultural rights of the individual. पार्ट 5 में कौन से राइट्स आ गए आपके. इकोनॉमिक एंड कल्चरल राइट, दिस इज नोन एज सेकेंड जनरेशन राइट. दे इंक्लूड राइट टू वर्क, राइट टू रेस्ट एंड लीजर, राइट टू अ डिसेंट स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग. यू नो द स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग, राइट टू डिसेंट स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग एंड राइट टू एजुकेशन. पार्ट 6, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. Part 6 covers Article 28, 29, and 30. This is the last part because United Nations Declaration can be divided into 6 parts. Part 6 covers Article 28, 29, and 30. They reminds us that right come with obligations and that none of the right mentioned in UDHR can be used to violate the spirit of the United. Next. Now we should know what are the civil and political rights. We know the civil and political rights are known as first generation right, but what are they and how much they are? How many they are? They are 21. They are 21. Right 2 to 21 deal with those civil and political rights which have been generally recognized throughout the world. Already I have said these are right. Sorry. These are recognized throughout the world. We have to discuss it one by one. The first very one right you should learn. Article 2 to 21 you should learn, you should know it, every citizen should know it. What are the United Nations human rights? Right to life, liberty, and security of person. The first one is right to life, liberty, and security of person. That is very essential aspect of ourselves. Next है freedom from slavery and servitude. Freedom from slavery and servitude. Article 4. हमें दासता से मुक्ति मिले. एंशियंट टाइम्स में क्या होता था कि कोई किसी को भी दास बना के काम ले सकता था. अंग्रेजों के पीरियड तक ये चीजें चलती रही इन इंडिया. Now, human right, Article 4 provides us freedom from slavery and servitude, provision against torture, that is Article 5. Fourth, recognition as a person before the law, Article 6. Next slide. Fifth civil and political right is equality before the law without any discrimination. That is the Article 7. Article 7. Article 8, fair treatment by fair courts. It is our civil and political right that fair treatment by fair courts. Now, freedom from arbitrary arrest. Article 9, right to a fair and public hearing. Article 10. Next, presumption of innocence until proven guilty. Article 11 and para 1. जब तक आप guilty नहीं हो साबित होते हैं तब तक आप फ्री हैं. नाउ 10th इज फ्रीडम फ्रॉम एक्स पोस्ट फैक्टो लॉज. फ्रीडम फ्रॉम एक्स पोस्ट फैक्टो लॉज कि आप लॉ से बाहर किसी उसमें भागीदारी नहीं रखेंगे जो लॉ के खिलाफ हो. नेक्स्ट 11th is right to privacy, that is considered in Article 12. Article 12. Right to freedom of movement, Article 13 and para 1. Next civil and political right is right to leave any country. You have a right to leave any country and settle in any country. Article 13. Right to seek in other countries asylum. Article 14 and para 1. Next. Right to nationality, as I have earlier said, right to nationality, Article 15. Right to marriage and family. Right to marriage and family, Article 16. Article 17 and number 17 also right to own property. अपनी संपत्ति रखने का आपको अधिकार है. Next, Article 18 and also number 18, right to freedom of thought and religion. Freedom of thought and religion. Human राइट्स आपको राइट्स देता है फ्रीडम ऑफ थॉट्स. अपने थॉट्स की स्वतंत्रता है. यू कैन एक्सप्रेस एनीथिंग एंड यू कैन अडॉप्ट एनी रिलीजन. यू आर फ्री टू फॉलो देम विदाउट डिस्टर्बिंग एनी लॉ या कंट्रीज रूल. राइट टू फ्रीडम ऑफ ओपिनियन, आर्टिकल 19 एंड आल्सो नंबर 19. Right 20, right to freedom of assembly and association, Article 20. And right to democracy, Article 21. So Article 2 to 21, these are the political and civil rights These are also known as first generation right. And dear student, these rights are found all over the world. You can recognize them. You can recognize them all over the world and all over the country, within the state also. The second generation rights are known as economic and social rights that are found in part 6, that covers article 20 to 27 of the declaration deal with economic and social rights, which are as follows. Point 1, right to social security, that covers article 20. Right to work and free choice of employment, article 23. Next, right to rest and leisure, article 24. Right to standard of living, article 25. These are the known as second generation right and not found all over the world, and this is sometimes it is personal according to the country's system. लिविंग ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड अमेरिका का कुछ हो सकता है, इंडिया का कुछ हो सकता है, दुबई का लिविंग ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड अलग हो सकता है, तो इट इज क्वाइट डिफरेंट समटाइम्स. एंड फिफ्थ इज राइट टू एजुकेशन, आर्टिकल 26. आर्टिकल 21 इन इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हैज बिकम द राइट टू एजुकेशन. अभी हम लोग वी आर डिस्कसिंग ह्यूमन राइट एजुकेशन इन वर्ड्स कॉन्टेक्स्ट. 6, right to participate in cultural life, that is known as article 27. Right to participate in cultural life, you all know. Next, right to good social and international order. जो भी सामाजिक और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय जो भी सोशल एंड इंटरनेशनल ऑर्डर्स हैं, डिक्लेरेशन है, उनको भी हम अडॉप्ट करें, दैट इज कंसीडर्ड इन आर्टिकल 28. नेक्स्ट, this was the thing that you have discussed. What are the human rights? Article 2 to 21 covers the first generation right, that was known as civil and political rights. And in second generation right, dear students, you got the economic and social rights. Now the third part of my presentation is comparison between Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Indian Constitution. The matter of question, if we live in India, अगर हम भारत में रहते हैं, we should know what are the common things in Universal Declaration of Human Rights and in Indian Constitution. Either UNO provides us human right, our Indian government, Indian Constitution provides us or not. हमें ये जानने की जरूरत है कि if we have a 21 Universal Declaration of First Generation Human Right, we are getting whether Indian Constitution is providing us or not. This is the very beautiful question for discussion, for comparison. कि we should know कि civil and political right, that is the first generation rights provided by Universal Declaration of Human Rights, are found in Indian Constitution or not. Because I have earlier said कि these are found all over the world, पूरी दुनिया में पाए जाते हैं. द मैटर ऑफ दिस कि हमें जानने की जरूरत है कि हमारे इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में ये ह्यूमन राइट्स आर कंसिस्ट और नॉट. नाउ लेट अस सी civil and political rights. You can see on the screen Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and second side the Constitution of India. So, Article 1, right to life, liberty and security of person. If we are getting right to life, liberty and security of person in Article 3, then we can proudly say in Article 21, Indian Constitution also provides us right to life, liberty and security, because our Indian Constitution in Article 21 says protection of life and personal liberty. Article 21 of Indian Constitution says protection of life and personal liberty. So next, prohibition of slavery and slavery trade etc. कि हम स्लेवरी को, दास्ता को, गुलामी को हम रोकेंगे और स्लेवरी ट्रेड, और जो दासों का व्यापार करते थे, स्लेव्स को यहाँ से वहाँ इस कंट्री से दूसरी कंट्रीज में भेजते थे, तो ह्यूमन राइट्स के रूप में हमको इनका प्रोविजन मिला हुआ है। नाउ लेट अस सी इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में क्या इसका सिस्टम है। डियर स्टूडेंट, व्हेन वी सी द आर्टिकल 23, Article 23, you all know it is prohibited our child labor, prohibited our children from child labor. So we can proudly say कि Article 4 of human right covers the Article 23 of Indian Constitution. Next, equality before law and non-discrimination, Article 15, ठीक है, आर्टिकल 7। तो इफ ह्यूमन राइट्स प्रोवाइड्स अस इक्वलिटी बिफोर लॉ एंड नॉन डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, इफ ह्यूमन राइट्स सेज कि वी आर ऑल इक्वल टू ह्यूमन राइट एंड देयर इज नो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, then proudly say in Indian Constitution we get Article 14 and 15, जिसमें डिस्क्रिमिनेशन गवर्नमेंट या लॉ की तरफ से कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं होगा। नाउ राइट टू इफेक्टिव रेमेडी, Universal Declaration of Human Rights in Article 8, right to effective remedy, yani we can go before the law for the protection of your rights which are provided by Universal Declaration of Human Rights. If we talk about Constitution of India, we get Article 32, जिसको हम लोग मानते हैं कि राइट टू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल रेमेडी, right to constitutional remedy, article 32 है, that is the last article of our fundamental rights that provides us 5 kinds of writs. हमें 5 तरह की writs देता है कि we can go for the government, we can go for the judiciary, कि ये संवैधानिक उपचारों का अधिकार इसको बोलते हैं। एंड डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर ने इसी आर्टिकल को द हार्ट एंड सोल ऑफ आवर इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कहा है। तो वेरी प्राउडली वी कैन से कि आर्टिकल 32 कवर्स राइट टू इफेक्टिव रेमेडी। नाउ राइट अगेंस्ट आर्बिट्ररी अरेस्ट डिटेंशन, आर्टिकल 9, एंड इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन और आर्टिकल 22 कवर्स जो प्रोटेक्शन अगेंस्ट अरेस्ट एंड डिटेंशन की बात करता है इन सर्टेन केसेस। तो वी प्राउडली से कि आवर इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आल्सो प्रोवाइड्स सच काइंड ऑफ राइट दैट इज गिवन इन यूनिवर्सल डिक्लेरेशन इन आर्टिकल 99। नेक्स्ट है राइट अगेंस्ट एक्स पोस्ट फैक्टो लॉ in article 11 para 2 of human right declaration. In Indian constitution it is found in article 20, that is known as violation of law. Next slide please. Civil and political rights comparison is continued. Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Constitution of India, that is the comparison. And you should all know it is very important for us कि UNO, if UNO has provided some kind of human rights, our Indian Constitution also provides us need ये है कि हमें इसको जानने की जरूरत है। We should know it, we should be aware about that, so that you can go for the before law, you can go for judiciary for the protection of our rights, your rights. Right to own property and not to deprived of property, article 13 in Indian Constitution. जो बच्चे पढ़ते होंगे वो जानते होंगे सारे आर्टिकल्स। आर्टिकल 19, but it was omitted by Constitution Amendment Act 1978। संवैधानिक आर्टिकल 19 में 7 तरह की स्वतंत्रताएं थी डियर स्टूडेंट, पर एक स्वतंत्रता, एक फ्रीडम खत्म कर दी गई है जिसको हम प्रॉपर्टी की बात करते हैं। बाकी आर्टिकल 19 कैरीज स्टिल 6 फ्रीडम, राइट टू मूव, राइट टू वॉक, राइट टू स्पीच, भाषण विचार की स्वतंत्रता, अभिव्यक्ति की स्वतंत्रता, घर बसाने की स्वतंत्रता, लिबर्टी फॉर प्रोफेशन, ये सारी चीजें कवर की गई हैं। लेकिन जो संपत्ति का अधिकार था वो खत्म नहीं हुआ है, पर ये लीगल राइट में कन्वर्ट हो गया है, फंडामेंटल राइट में नहीं रह गया है। तो प्रॉपर्टी का अधिकार जो है हम कह सकते हैं कि ये अब कानूनी रूप ले चुका है, लीगल रूप ले चुका है, बट ये पहले से इसकी व्यवस्था थी अपने इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में। Right to own property and not to deprived of property. Article 17. Article 25 covers it in Indian Constitution. Right to freedom of thought, conscience and religion. Article 18. यूनाइटेड नेशंस डिक्लेरेशन बात करता है आर्टिकल 18 में कि राइट टू फ्रीडम ऑफ थॉट एंड कॉन्शियसनेस रिलीजन. In Article 25 of Indian Constitution, we get freedom for, we can say, we get the secularism, we get the religious freedom. आप जिसको मानते हैं वहाँ जा सकते हैं, आप प्रेयर कर सकते हैं, आप अपने थॉट्स को, रिलीजन को एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं. Civil and political rights continued. Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Constitution of India. Right to freedom of opinion and expression. In Article 19A में पहला ही है भाषण और विचार की स्वतंत्रता. Right to speak and express yourself we get in Indian Constitution, Article 19. So it's a matter of proud we also getting these kind of right in our Indian Constitution. Next, right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association. Right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association. That is found in 19. Article 19. Right to equal access to public service. Article 16. In Indian Constitution, Article 16 says equality in government jobs. लोक नियोजन में अवसर की समता, तो ये चीज है. नेक्स्ट है यूनिवर्सल डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स एंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया. राइट टू सोशल सिक्योरिटी. Human Declaration provides us right to social security. In Article 29, हम देखते हैं it is based on, it is for minorities. Right to Article 29. Article 29 is basically works for minorities. कि अल्पसंख्यकों को अपने अधिकारों को सुरक्षित रखने का अधिकार है. Right to join trade and unions. Article 23 UDHR provides और Article 19 कहीं भी आप प्रोफेशन कोई ऑप्ट कर सकते हैं. फ्रीडम फॉर एनी प्रोफेशन. नेक्स्ट, these were the civil and political rights in comparison between UDHR and Indian Constitution. Now we have come for economic, social and cultural rights. Economic, social, cultural rights means the second generation rights. Now let us see क्या ये rights it is not very popular all over the world but still are found everywhere. Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Constitution of India. Economic, social and cultural rights. First of all, we should know economic and social cultural rights are those rights for their violation we should not go for the court. We should not write any petition because it is the responsibility of the state. It is the responsibility of state to provide us social and cultural welfare for the us. If you know, a directive principle of the state policy also works in such a form. Right to work, to free choice of employment, to just and favorable condition of work, etc. You know, Article 21 in Indian Constitution works here, जिसमें make effective provision for securing the right to work. Make effective provision for securing the right to work. यानी कार्य करने की जो human based conditions हैं वो state maintain रखे. तो it is also found in our Indian Constitution. Article 23 of UDHR, right to equal pay for equal work. समान काम के लिए समान वेतन मिले. This is also a matter of good. Article 39 in Indian Constitution covers this. कि either it is men, women or children, if work, same work, वेतन या salary should be same, should be paid equally. Men, women and children. Indian Constitution have such article in 39. Economic and social cultural rights continued. Right to just and favorable remuneration. Next slide, please. Right to just and favorable रिन्यूमरेशन आर्टिकल 23 कि एक वाजिब दाम या वाजिब कीमत मिले, एक प्रॉपर वेतन मिले। तो आर्टिकल 43 इसको कवर करता है कि जीविका के उसको भी समान अवसर मिले। इक्वल राइट फॉर लिवलीहुड इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हैव इन आर्टिकल 43, आर्टिकल 23 इन यूडीएचआर एंड आर्टिकल 43 इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया। तो इट इज वेरी गुड कंपेरिजन। राइट टू रेस्ट एंड लीजर, right to rest and leisure in UDHR we get it article 24. In Indian constitution we get in article 43. Next slide please. Right to everyone to a standard of living adequate for him and his family. UDHR provides us in article 25 right to everyone to standard of living adequate for him and his family. Constitution of India provides this kind of situation in article 39 and article 47. In Indian constitution it is said level of nutrition and standard of living. In article 39 level of nutrition and article 47 standard of living. This is quite similar between the two, so we can proudly say this article is also found in constitution of India. Right to education, right to education and free education in elementary and fundamental stages. Right to education and free education in elementary and fundamental stages, article 26. In UDHR article 26 covers कि right to education हमें शिक्षा का अधिकार मिले और एलिमेंट्री एजुकेशन कंप्लीटली फ्री हो एंड कंपलसरी हो, ये हमारे फंडामेंटल स्टेजेस में आए। इन आप जानते हैं इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आर्टिकल 41 एंड आर्टिकल 45 that works for article 45 that works for free and compulsory education. Now we know that article 21 has considered it is a fundamental right जिसमें free and compulsory education की बात की गई है। Every child had education. Now Universal Declaration and Constitution of India, right to a proper and social order, right to proper and social order, article 38 also in Indian constitution covers. So dear students, we saw the things in three sections. Part 1, that was the human rights, a general perspective in which you have seen the meaning, definition, sources, needs and classification of human right. This is the very general aspects of human right. And the second segment covers the sources of a human right. UN Declaration, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and what were the first generation rights and what were the second generation rights. You sign second unit. In third part, you have compared our Indian Constitution and United Nations declarations in kind of human rights. Be proudly able to say that our Indian Constitution covers almost all the human rights, all the rights that was provided by UDHR. If we live in India, we are very thankful, we are very supportive that our constitution, we have very beautiful and good constitution. If we are aware about your rights, your fundamental rights, your human rights, you can go for any support before law. You go for judiciary before law to protect your human rights. Now I am closing my speech. I hope you all will be benefited from my lecture, and definitely it is a very burning and auspicious topic in present scenario, and I really thankful for the Integral University that has added it in a value added course. Definitely we required in such a scenario value added program, and human right and its issues are added in Integral University Education Department as a course. This is a matter of proud. So thank you very much for watching me and listening me. Thank you everyone. Thank you Jeba ma'am for giving me invitation for such a beautiful and burning topic. In my next presentation, I would be able to discuss the issues. That is the complete another presentation for the that for the lecture. It would not be possible in a one slide. So thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, dear listeners. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anil.
Good afternoon, participants. Am I audible? Dr. Anil? Good afternoon, participants.
You are
Dr.
audible, ma'am.
Kalpana?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Who took out time from a busy schedule and just took a lecture for you, and she made us aware about the human rights in context of our worried population. Transgender, she stated about the rights and how can people claim it. She talked about the equal rights which are to be shared with the women population and the transgenders and the other people of our community. Hope to see you whenever you. So that thank you, madam. Thank you, Dr. Anil, and thank you other faculty members and the team efforts. Thank you. Thank you, participants.